Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Roaming Talk. This week we'll be talking about our recent trip out to the Nightforce ELR Steel Challenge in, where was it at?
Casper, Wyoming?
Well, I keep calling it Casper, but it's not. Glen Rock. Glen Rock, Wyoming. So we'll give you a rookie's perspective on this. So stay with us. All right, guys, about a year ago, I saw it online, that's the Steel Challenge, and we've been wanting to do them. We're not challenge people. We're rookies, into this. We're into the hunting world. We're not into the competition world as far as especially an event like this goes. So wanted to get into it. Text Fritz and said, hey, man, let's sign up for this. And he said, bro, that was last week. Guess we'll get ahead of it. So we got to talking about it. And we started working on builds. We got signed up in, I guess it was January or February this year. And anyway, we reached out and actually we were able to do a sponsorship there. We gave away some actions. We gave away some discounted actions as well. But this is one of the guns we brought. This was my rifle. On this rifle, we put a B&T bipod. B&T was nice enough to partner up with us and help us get us going. Great bipod. I didn't have any issues with it. None. Other than forgetting to deploy it.
Yeah, that's the Super Cal, right?
Yeah, the Super Cal. Yep. Yeah, super wide base on it. Man, it was, solid as a rock. If I wasn't solid, it was something on the rear. It was me. It wasn't the front. So I'm able to one-hand deploy it. So I reach up. If I realize I didn't deploy it low enough or, tall enough, I was able to reach up there real quick, flip it, and set the tension that I wanted on it, and it really got solid. Then Masterpiece Arms also got us going in some Vanquish chassis, and man, those suckers are nice. Yeah. I absolutely loved that chassis, and I'm a hunting guy, so I could care less before about a chassis system, So we rolled into these. Fritz was talking them up, and they really came through with them on us for us, and man, they fit good. I love everything from the pistol grip to the. I thought that big thumb.
Hole?
Yeah, I thought the thumb hole. I thought that was just a big thumb hole. No, that sucker is for when you're packing it. You could just about put your hand through it.
Until we toted them 3 miles.
Yeah, golly, yeah, in the mud and everything else. So, and you can elevate your cheek piece. You can lengthen your or shorten your length of pull. It even deploys down for the bag rider, which I know Chris loved that. He goes, dude, I just used it. I love it.
Yeah, no, throughout each stage, I was constantly adjusting that. Yeah. And, I'm smaller and shorter, so I constantly need to adjust the rear bag a ton for me.
Yeah. Right.
So.
Yeah, we call him Pocket Chris. We got about 10 different Chris's here at the range. So he picked up the Pocket Chris title. So I ran the Nightforce Attacker, which, man, I love it. I love the glass. I love the magnification. I got the Mill XT reticle in it, which I'm not big on busy reticles, but that one definitely helped on this challenge. I like just the straight. I'm an MOA guy on top of that. So, but I can do both, but I prefer MOA and still prefer MOA over the Mill, even after the challenge, which I know I'll get some hate on that, but I don't care. But everybody else was shooting mills, so I shot mills, and it worked out real good. We put the Gray Ops weights, the internal and external weight, or no, we put the Gray Ops external, and we put the MPA internal weights on the system.
Made a huge difference.
Oh man, did it weight them up? Yeah. So yeah, this is 6.5 PRC. It's not a big cannon. But at 500 yards, I can watch my impacts.
Yeah, because I didn't have my internal weights yet.
Yeah.
I shot it a bunch, and I put the internal weights on, and it was lights out.
Yeah,
It's
a game changer. You're going from what was it, about an 18-pound gun, and we put the weights in it and all. We just measured weighed Chris's a minute ago, which we never really weighed them before we left, and Chris's was almost 28 pounds. And he has the Vortex Gen 2 Razor on his, and both of y'all shot Gen 2s. Yeah. Right. So we got them. Carbon 6 gave us the barrel. And I know we were going to get some hate on that barrel, but guys, that barrel shot great. The only thing that sucked was the trigger nut.
Yeah.
You know, that sucker was, I mean, a laser beam. It did everything I told it to do wrong. So it listened. It did well, really well.
Yeah, we had no stringing whatsoever on those.
No, they shot good. I mean, the only time I was missing it was because it was left or right. It was my wind calls, and that was it. We got the guns built, and I'm a factory ammo guy through and through, and we decided we were gonna reload it because it was gonna be cheaper. We were gonna reload. Yeah, I think we ended up spending like $1,000 more on the reloading than we would have if we just grabbed 2 cases of ammo each.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, it depends who you ask.
Yeah, am I wrong?
We spent some dollars.
We shot a lot.
We spent some
Yeah, we did
dollars.
shoot a lot.
Yeah, I did the math. I think we were loading ours for about $18 a box with the brass.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, and then Ben's
Yeah.
factory pickup was $65 a box.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was at I don't. That's
Sports
not.
South.
Yeah, Sportsman's Sports
Sportsman.
Warehouse or
Yeah.
something. Out of, no, it wasn't
Yep.
Murdoch's. I forgot. Yeah, Sportsman's Warehouse or something. And that was $65 a box. I think we sell it here at the range for like. Yeah, that was painful. I think we sell it for like 53, 54, something like that. So that was
Not 65.
Yeah, that was, and I was so mad at myself because I said I was gonna bring a case of factory just in case things went south, and sure enough, we loaded here. We loaded enough ammo. No, we didn't. We didn't load anything before we left. We got to so anyway, we left here. We got prepped. We shot I don't know, a couple hundred rounds here. Everything was great. We found the load we wanted, which we were going to shoot the Burger 153 and a halves with 56.7.
57.2 or 4.
57.4. That's what it
Yeah.
was. We were going to shoot 57.4, 57.4 grains of
H1.
H1000. And they shot great here. I mean, they shot lights out. We go to the Whittington Center, shot lights out. And Fritz, their mile target out there is a 20-inch circle, and Fritz put 8 in a row.
8 in a row.
8 in a row at a mile. We were like, "Yep, this is the load we're going to go with." Everything and it shot great. You know, no issues. Had no overpressure signs, no bolt lift, no primers blowing, anything. And then we left there, and I got sick as a dog that night.
Yep.
And spent pretty much until Sunday sick. And then we went to Cameo.
Yep. Grand Junction.
Yeah, stayed the night in Grand Junction. Went to Cameo, which you can show some of these pictures there.
Yeah.
Unbelievable place.
Yeah.
People are outstanding, helpful.
At both facilities.
Absolutely.
At Whittington and at the Cameo. The guys that back up for just a second. That people at Whittington, man, they really go out of your way to make you feel welcome, to handle any need that you could possibly need that's within reason. Great people, great staff, and we have some pretty cool things getting ready to come up with them in the next couple of months. So we're fired up about that, and all that stuff will be on our, which I'm sure we'll talk about it on here in the future. But
here's just a quick picture of us at Interway Whittington Center.
Yeah, that's
at the,
Whittington.
Was it? What's the name of that range?
that's the Cooper Range.
Cooper Range.
Yep.
That's right, where the mile target is.
Yeah.
So we were. That's Adam and I's rig right there. We were laying down, just going back and forth between 1,100 to all the way to a mile.
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, y'all were making good calls, communicating well as a team, and one would spot the impact or spot the miss or whatever it was, and then tell the other one the correction. The other one would get on it, bang it out. Man, it was good. Y'all did really good. And it, again, guys, this was our first competition, so it was fun to go do, fun to get into, and we knew it was going to be interesting when we got there. So we knew there was going to be some hiccups and some other stuff, and we were just proud to be able to go to compete. Period. So.
And we all shot roamers. We all shot your suppressor.
That's right. I forgot. So back on the gun, we had the Garmin's on there, and then we had we shot the roamer suppressor, which is our 30 cal suppressor. Sounds good, knocks away recoil, easy to clean. We did a video earlier today on how easy they are to clean, which will be on the website soon.
And a lot of people shot suppressed.
Yes,
I mean,
which was nice.
Yeah.
Man, so during the warm up. Anyway, we'll go to that.
Yeah.
We'll go to that. So anyway, we went to Cameo, shot at Cameo, and again, great staff. from the girls that check you in to the guys up top at the range, man, they really went out of their way. Fritz had an overpressure and the bolt got stuck, and long story short, he broke the bolt knob off. And they said, well, come on down, we'll get you taken care of. Sure enough, went down there, drilled out they let us use their press, drilled it out, retapped the bolt knob or the bolt handle, and luckily I had some extra bolt handles with me. We just put a new one on and rolled with it. It didn't help that he was whacking it with a 10-pound maul.
Yeah.
So
that definitely had something to do
but
with
anyway, it was desperation and anger at that moment. So we'll leave that story for another time. We'll let Fritz tell that one. But anyway, shot there. I think we had so there we started seeing some signs of we had some primer start blowing on third and 2, 3, and 4 times fired brass. So we just chalked it up to loose primer pockets. We were like, okay, well, this brass is just done. And we swapped over to our once fired brass, and it shot well. I think we blew 1 or 2 primers after that. Never really had any bolt lift.
And we were loading at night. So
Yeah.
each night we brought our, the powder and the chargers and everything. So we were loading there. The powder was there. And then they saw that change when y'all got to Cameo, really.
Yeah. And we just chalked it up to the brass. We didn't think we were shooting Hornady brass. It wasn't Alpha or Peterson or anything like that. We've always shot here when they reloaded just for range brass. We've always just shot the Hornady, and it worked real well. So, and that's what we mainly shoot for factory is Hornady. So it's readily available. And we brought like 3,000 brass between the 4 of us.
Yep.
It was a lot of brass. So anyway, I think builds prep, trip up, and we made a scenic trip of it. I think you got a picture of us coming over. We decided to take we woke up, we were supposed to shoot Wednesday morning and at the Whittington Center. We woke up, it was raining, and then we went over Independence Pass.
Yep.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and I'll put those pictures up. We're offline right now. It's raining hard out here, so I'm gonna put these pictures in post so you can see it. But yeah, it was definitely a beautiful drive up there for sure.
Yeah, that was worth the reroute to go do. So, then, like I said, then we went to Cameo. Had a couple of issues there, and then we left Cameo that afternoon and drove to Casper. So we spent more time in that truck, which is why we all wanted to kill each other by the time we got home. It was all good though. But we went to Casper, checked in that night, and next morning we get to the Nightforce Challenge.
Yeah, this is Friday morning.
Yeah, so Friday morning we get there, we set up our tent and get checked in, and we go down to zero our rifles with Chris, and we zero them, and I blow a primer. And Chris and Adam over there high-fiving because their stuff's all working nice and pretty. They're shooting...
we were shooting 147s. Basically, as close as we can get to a factory load on 147 Hornadies, ELDMs. And they were tack drivers shooting lights out.
They were shooting great here, Whittington, Cameo, and there. Never had any overpressure. I think Adam one time probably picked up some of that moon dust, and it got in the chamber, and he had one overpressure, and the bolt kind of stuck a little bit.
But not much.
Yeah, and then after that was it. And I had the same thing. I had one overpressure, and I was like, man, I looked at my Garmin, and my feet per second were no different. So I guess it was just that dust that day got in there, and that whole stage, it got heavy. But anyway,
and that zero range was a big target at 100, and that was station 11. I think that thing stretched out pretty good, almost to that unicorn target.
1800, I think, was the last plate or something like that.
Yeah, it stretched to where did it go? I got it right here. 11. I think it went out to like 1800.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 1320, 1496, 1672, and 1865.
Yeah, that was some square target. That was a fun station.
Yeah, it was. It was fun, and I got on it. So I'm blowing primers. I blew 18 out of 20, and I was like, man, I'm freaking done. Man, I was so mad. I went up to the tent and had to actually fix an ejector spring because it had toasted that spring. I was able to go in and
I had a couple boxes at the factory.
Yeah. So I stretched that spring out, and Adam said, "Hey, I got a box of factory. You want to try it?" I said, "Absolutely, I want to try it." So we go back down there, and I got his factory and shot it. No bolt lift, no issues, no nothing. I was like, Megan was there. I was like, I need a case of factory. So with that box of ammo, I walked it all the way out. Had second or third round impacts on all three of those targets all the way out. Got it trued. Everything was good. I got it zeroed, and the speed was like 29.10 or 29.20. I was like, perfect.
And that's
all
what
good.
I think me and Chris were shooting.
Yeah, we were about 10 feet per second difference, if that. Yeah, 29.10, 29.20.
Yeah, y'all was shooting the same from day one.
Right.
From here to when we got up there, we always shot the same.
Yeah.
So the barrel, a little bit more on these barrels that we got from Carbon 6. They're ECM barrels, electrochemically machined. So they're not button cut. They use an electrode that goes through there, and it cuts all the rifling in there. And they can actually program how aggressive they want how deep they want the rifling, how smooth they want the bore, or how roughed up. So they say they actually have to rough it up a little bit, set it to a rougher setting to keep from bonding.
Yeah, so those cathodes can control your lands and grooves, and you can do all kinds of stuff with that. You can get into gain twist and all kinds of stuff that can really make a predictable bore, which is pretty cool. And
it's quick.
It's quick. It's super quick. So lead times for them should be improving drastically once they get this rolling without sacrificing on their quality, which is pretty cool to see. No doubt. And they shot lights out for us all the way up there. No doubt.
Yeah. It was quite impressive. We got to actually, at Roaming Shot, we have a good relationship with Carbon 6, and they gave us last summer a barrel to test, one of the first. And I forgot what grouping we shot with that thing, but it was stupid. I didn't want to pull the trigger anymore because I was scared I was going to mess the grouping up. But
perfect.
it was bullet, and it's factory ammo, bullet inside a bullet inside a bullet. It was impressive. It was like 0.13 or 0.15
yeah,
or
and
something.
we are not bench rest shooters by no means.
No.
So for us to do that, imagine what a serious shooter can be doing with these barrels. It's insane.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's the way we ended that day. We went, let it go like that. So the next morning, I've been again, and I'm not trying to make excuses, but I felt like a jerk the next day when we got out there. So, because normally I'm upbeat, I'm happy, I'm glad to be wherever I am, and just blessed, So I'm talking to everybody, having a good time, and man, I couldn't make it. I walked to one stage and turn around and walk to the bathroom, walk back up to the stage, shoot, walk to the bathroom, walk to the next stage, drop my stuff, walk back to the bathroom. Man, it was. And then I would just lay down. It was miserable. And then on top of that, I get on my gun at the first stage. How far were they? It was, which we knew it's a long range competition, which is awesome.
That was the Wolves.
That was the Wolves. So we started on stage 17. Yeah. So the first Wolf was at 1440, and the next one was at 1561. Not a big deal.
And they were hidden.
But one of them was in the green. You could see him with the naked eye, and the other one was in the sage is brown, and he was in the sage. The sage is brown and gray, and he was brown and gray. So you found him, and again, no big deal. We got it all set up, and I don't remember I don't remember much on the first day. I just remember I don't remember stages on everything, but I know I got up there and. I shot the first one, and I couldn't even see my impact. I was like, I have no idea where that went. So I shot again, same thing. I was like, oh, no, what is going on, And then I found the second one, got him, and I was shooting like 10 feet over his back. I said, son of a gun. And I got to looking at my speeds where my speeds were like 3,000, 3,010. I was like, so that's 100 foot faster than what I was shooting the day before. And I was like, this sucks. So now I got to figure out where my 100-yard zero is to be able to true my round down range, and in between shooting and bathroom breaks. It took me 6 stages to figure out. And if I was smart, and I wasn't at the time, and I'm not claiming to be at the moment, I would have stopped, 0 to rock or something at 100, shot it, and then shot at one of the wolves, saw my impact, dialed down, shoot it again, and then trued my rifle out. But
and in hindsight, I think we talked on the way home. I think those first 3 or 4 stations were probably some of the hardest ones there on that hill.
No doubt. I mean, those wolves were super tough to see. And I remember Adam and I were just laying on the mat and we're just like, I can't. I can't see where the impact is.
Yeah.
So we're just guessing the wind call at this point. And then when we went back to look for the first wolf, I lost it.
Yeah.
I was like, Adam, I can't find it, man.
No pun intended. To paint y'all a picture, nothing's painted.
Yeah.
It's all blended in. And I think they purposely they shot them up to look like that the environment around it, but it's different.
Which it makes it fun because it's challenging. It's not supposed to be easy. It's supposed to be a challenging match, and it is 100% challenging. But again, it is as challenging as it is. That's how fun it is too.
It is.
So it was, like I said, the first day for me was a little crappy, but after about 2/3 of that day, I started getting my dope right, and then started making pretty consistent impacts. But man, y'all two were working. Once y'all got it down, I think y'all had it down by the 3rd stage or 4th stage.
The mover is where it kind of started kicking up for Adam and I. We were just like, okay, we're starting to understand this a little bit now, and the communication's getting on point, and we're getting dialed in now, figuring it out. And it was, man, we never shot movers before. I've never shot movers before.
No, I haven't either.
And
I think I went first and hit it under surprise.
You
I actually hit
first, like first round impact.
Yeah.
And we were just like, whoa, we can do this.
Do it again.
Yeah. We were just like, look, we're like, we can do this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're on the Applied Ballistics app, the target's moving this much, the wind's moving this much, and they were like, do we add or subtract? The target's moving left, the target's moving right. Chris
and it has all that in the app.
Yes, it does.
It has in the app, and we're just like, send it, baby.
Yeah.
Send it with confidence, and we did it.
It was dead on. I mean, y'all did great.
I think we held like 2.5 mils going one way and 0.9 the other or something like that.
Yeah.
And it worked. It did.
Well, now I'm going to call him out real quick.
You should.
I should. Huh?
Should.
Yeah, so we were going to shoot teams, and you notice there's only 3 of us in here.
Go ahead.
My partner, no, I'm just messing with him, but it was we were supposed to all shoot teams, and then when the bullets and all fell apart, and I don't blame Fritz on the bullets at all. So again, I'm saying it again here, Fritz. I don't blame you on that deal. That was all new to us. We hadn't traveled like that other than to go hunt, when you're shooting 2 rounds on a hunting trip. So, I mean, you don't really pick all that up. So, but he got frustrated, and he didn't want to represent any issues with roaming shots. So he stepped out, and he stepped up and filled in a spot to RO, and where they needed somebody to RO, he went over there and RO'd. But I know he was disappointed he didn't shoot the match. Mm-hmm. Especially all the time, the work, the energy, and all that went into it. And I'm just going to tell him he sucks one time. You suck, Fritz. But we're going to leave it there. But no, he was doing a good thing for us. So I appreciate him doing that. But anyway, what did y'all find to be the hardest part about it?
Go ahead, Chris.
You walk up to that stage and you know what the targets are and you know the distance, but you don't know where these targets are at, at first, right? So it's kind of like a blind stage to a sense. It's, they're 50, I think they're 50% life size, like animal targets, or some of them are, and
they're all different, but
and some of them are really hidden and spread out. So definitely have a good pair of binos or a spotter for sure, which I didn't have. My teammate had. Thank you, Adam. I appreciate it so much.
He toted your little butt all day.
If it wouldn't have been for the SIG kilos, the binos, that range finding features on those, we'd have never made it. We'd have never made it.
Yeah, these guys run an awesome match.
They do.
Awesome match. But we got up on the antelope, and the antelope they were off a good bit, and there was a couple targets that were off. Mm-hmm. I don't remember why or what. I don't know if they had to move them last minute or if I don't know, but we'd found, and it wasn't just us. Some other guys caught it before we did. They were off some yardages, so it's just always wise to, and we learned that it's always wise to double check, just to make sure that you're getting the data that you should be getting.
Yeah, because when you get to the stage, it just has 1 through 4 in the yardage, and you're relying on people that are either shot already or the people that are got to look at what's out there.
Yeah.
And then you're like, me, Chris, and Ben, everybody else is like, go to this tree, go over to this mud.
Yep.
And you're like, that's
Pick
how it
'em up.
was.
But yeah, I mean, because your one stage might be 15 yards from the next stage, and you're looking two totally different draws. And even though you go up on the next stage and you're looking back down on the same draw you just came from, you can't even see the targets you were just shooting. And now you can barely see the targets you're shooting at now. So, man, it was awesome. I mean, I really enjoyed it. It was cool. The way they laid it out, the time that went into it was incredible. It was a first rate deal. So,
And then once you find them, then it gives you what goes first and where you need to start. And me and Chris messed that up. Well, I did. I messed it up on the turkeys.
There's the kangaroos.
kangaroos.
The kangaroos.
Yeah.
We went the wrong side. It was supposed to be left to right, and we were going right to left.
yeah, Chris was doing everything but cussing the RO. I'm
man.
making impacts.
We were
and the guy was like,
shooting
dude, I just
circle.
don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm shooting the third one and thinking it's the second one, and I'm watching it. I'm like,
It's shaking.
man, that kangaroo's moving. It's been shot twice.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and then it's the aha moment. It goes, oh, we're shooting the wrong direction. And I'm
Yep.
like, and he's like, well, go ahead, send it again and get a first round impact.
Yeah, you done caught up with your misses.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
Chris,
well.
Chris hit the size of a bottle cap about 4 times, and the guy was like, "You're on the wrong target." And I was like, oh, well.
They're like,
Well, we're on the right one now.
yeah. But everybody, the funny part, everybody behind us was like, oh, good to know.
I was about to do this, and it's written on the board.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you walk up to the stage, it has your yardages. It has how many targets. And then it tells you what direction. So, and you either shoot twice, or you the one stage we shot the confirmation target twice, and then shot that same target like 6 times. But for the most part, it's you shoot it on your first one, and then you move to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
And if you miss the first one, you get 2 chances at it, and it's 1 point for the second shot, 2 points for the first shot. So, talking to rookie mistakes, Chris found something good, which I'd have never thought about it. And I'm the ADD as can be. So you can sit there and tell me a dope, and I'm like, hold on, what would you say it was again? And he found this tape from someplace in Canada. I forgot where it was, but it's turret tape, which simple. You put a mark on it. Hey, my first one is, 5.2. So I put a red mark at 5.2. My second target is, 8.5. I put a red mark at 8.5. Well, I made the mistake.
This is where
I made the mistake. Well, you don't know how many revolutions it is, so you got to pay attention to that. But I made a mistake on that too. I made a mistake we had a far elk, and man, I was fired up. My first elk, boom, first round impact. Second elk, boom, first round impact, and then I dialed back to the first red line. And we were shooting in that one. I forgot how far he was, 16, 17, something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
And I'm dialing, and I dialed up and I shot, and I was just waiting to hear impact. And I was like, I don't even see it.
you hit the hill before.
Yeah. And then I shot again, and I saw that it hit the hill before the elk. And I was like, I went back to my first target dope, and, which is 200 yards difference, And so I learned it on that really, if I do that again, and I will do that again, that I'll use a different color for a near stage, the first one. But and then what do we have? What was the number one mistake we had going? Shooting the number 2 target is number one. Yep.
Yeah, that was Ben did it twice.
Yeah, I
I
did.
think I did it twice.
I caught myself
I
on
did
my.
it. Yeah, I did it. We all did it.
Yeah,
no
Ben
doubt.
center punched the second target, and I was, man, it was tough to watch sometimes.
Yeah.
It was.
And I caught it on the second time I did it. I was like, how? And I saw my impact. I was like, why am I low? Wrong target, moron. That's why you're low. So I swung it back over and smacked it. And then the lady RO said, yeah, I was wondering if you was going to catch that. I said, yeah, got it and picked up the rest of the stage on that one.
Yeah, I started zooming out a lot more on my scope, no doubt. I was worried at the very beginning that the Gen 2s are like, I think 4.5 by 27 or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and,
25, 27, something like that. Yeah.
Something like that. And
I don't remember.
I was like, man, all these other guys, they have like 35 power and even more. And
That's
some
what
of
I
these
had.
other ones. Yeah. And I'm like, ooh, I hope I can see some stuff. And I'm like, well, it turns out I actually needed to back off a good bit just to find my landmarks again and not get tunnel vision in the scope. So it's plenty enough power. You can even back off and definitely shoot this entire course, no doubt.
Yeah, I think I shot the whole thing around 20 to 25. I don't think I ever dialed over 25.
Because you're not going to find those targets at full magnification.
No.
No way.
No way.
Especially not a rookie.
Yes, not me for sure.
And that goes back even to the spotting scopes. Like some of the guys that got the more magnification, the spotting scope, I'm like, man, this is too much.
Yeah.
I can't find my landmarks that I need to because I'm too zoomed in on trying to find one target. That's the binos were
Perfect.
killer for those because we can actually back up enough. We could see the target, see our landmark, and we're like, okay, we're gonna lay our gun right here, and we got our landmarks picked out, and then boom, we're on it.
Yeah.
So,
When we started doing that, I could just about almost every time I could get on my gun and find my first target. I mean, just by picking the gun up.
yeah,
you know?
no doubt.
So yeah, again, these guys, y'all may know all this stuff already. Some of you guys that are watching this, and then some of y'all don't. But it was like I said, we're 100% rookies when it comes to the long ELR competitions. Now, hunting or shooting long range, just shooting targets, that's no problem. But putting the clock on you and everything else, it was a different beast. Just like the clay pigeon challenge we do. We have some great shooters that come out here, and you throw that clock on them and the camera and everything else, and it all changes. So we knew we were going to be going in this and getting humbled, and I tried to go in it humbled.
And the weather didn't help between Saturday and Sunday either.
Poor Adam.
Oh man, I'll let you tell the story.
So, we looked online, and I did. And I say no chance of rain. This, that, and other.
Like zero.
we get there to a beautiful place. This guy, Casey's his name, Casey Tiller.
Yeah.
He actually donates, or he lets this event happen. Get to this beautiful place, storm and rain, and Sunday morning. I left my rain gear at the room. I was like, well, I'm not going to pack it. Didn't have my rain gear, but what I was kind of getting to is that weather from Saturday. We were running sun shields on our Vortex Gen 2s. Perfect weather. We get Sunday. It's nasty. It's raining. That moon dust, we call it moon dust. I guess. That moon dust turned to whatever you want to call it.
All owl turds.
Yeah.
It was slick.
But it was just a totally different environment.
Yeah.
The first stage we got to, we couldn't really even see that well. Even the RO was telling in.
Yeah, they were having trouble. I mean, the targets were gray and the setting was gray. So, I mean, they were having a tough time spotting impact. So they really had to rely on everybody, had to come together and try to help. To help spot.
I think I had a small malfunction with my trigger just because all the junk in it.
It didn't help that you threw it down the day.
Yeah, did that too.
We're hiking up from stage one to, we had to hike up. Each stage was a little higher, and then we had to really climb the hill on the first day. And I left before y'all did.
I took a detour.
Yeah, I get up there and I look back and I sit down and I turn around and Chris was walking up. And I was like, where's Adam at? So I asked him, hey, where's Adam? He goes, I thought Adam was with you. I said, I thought Adam was with you. And about 10 minutes later, here comes Adam slamming everything. He then walked back just about to the parking lot and then had to come up the hill again. So he got, but this was, again, a rookie's perspective, man. He got dust in his gun that day, no doubt. And then the next day when the rain hit, it got down and in through the top of the trigger and seized up. He had a dead trigger. And
tell him what that guy had in his back pocket.
The guy had some lighter fluid. Never would have thought about this because the lighter fluid, instead of gumming up like oil would do, we shot that lighter fluid down in there, ran the little brush I had in my bag through the top of the trigger. Boom, trigger come back to life. That was a good trick. I'd never heard of that trick, and that's a good one to have in the back pocket.
Yeah, he said it does for ice too. He said they've found where they've been in some nasty weather. Iced up. He said he spray a little lighter fluid. Bam. He said he's had that gun do that before too.
Yeah. And these are Trigger Tech diamonds, so they're nice triggers and they're sealed.
Yeah.
And everything, but it could
not
still
through the top.
Yep. It could still happen to anybody.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you throw your gun on the ground.
Especially if they're going.
yeah, I would have done it too, buddy. That was a heck
I
of a
don't know how to
walk.
come back up. I might have just took the goose egg on that one, which I think I might have done anyway. No, that was the elk one.
That was a tough walk.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that wasn't the elk one. That was the one before the elk.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So let's talk about too probably the most popular cartridge out there was no doubt
300 normal.
300 normal mags, and I think
300 PRCs. Yeah, that was
all 30 cows basically.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but we had the 6.5 PRCs, and Megan wants to shoot it next year, so she's probably going to shoot it. And I've built a 33XC, but I'm not going to bring a 33XC out there. We're actually spinning up a barrel for that action right now. I'm going to swap it out for a deal in South Dakota in 2 weeks. We're going to do a 300 PRC, so that's probably what I'll shoot next year.
Now, no doubt, I'm going to go back with the same.
Yeah, I would go if I wasn't doing the 300 PRC. If Megan wasn't shooting, I would go back to the 6.5 PRC.
Yeah, it's much, and very, very doable.
Yeah.
So
mine's going back with me.
Yeah.
That gun right, it's sitting over there.
Yeah.
But you did see some 7 PRCs. They had a couple guys in our squad that shot 7 PRCs.
Yeah, and they did great.
Mm-hmm.
They did. They did great. I mean, as long as you told the gun what to do properly, with the right correction, and it wasn't that like the guys that were shooting the 7s. I think they had to hold 3/10 less than what we were holding on average.
Yeah, I think like if I was holding 1, Trevor and them were holding 4 and 5 at some of the, it just depends,
Yeah, 0.5. Yeah. So it was. And they had people out there shooting Creedmoors. They had
6 millimeters.
Yeah, 6 millimeters. They had, which I don't know where all those placed, but they probably all placed,
very brave. I would say
they probably all placed higher than me.
I mean, you just have to know that wind and how and where and how to hold for that.
Yeah.
And man, we saw guys with 300 normal mags and beautiful rifles, and great. It beats the wind, but they couldn't get on target even then.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can't get on target, you can't get on target.
Doesn't matter how big the gun is, it's how you run it.
Yep.
And I believe the youth that won was shooting a 6.5 PRC. The little guy from Tacoma.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he was shooting a 6.5 PRC.
Yeah. Man, everybody at I was wondering how the crowd was going to be, as far, again, rookie going in, don't know if you're going to be, the nose getting thumbed at you or what, but everybody was so helpful, so friendly. Mm-hmm. It was really, except for myself the first day. I felt like such a punk, man. I hate being like that. But the next day, I even told them, I was like, look, guys, I feel better today. I'm sorry I was a little peckerhead yesterday. Wasn't trying to be, just didn't feel good. But man, everybody was great. The guys that put it on were great. The event was fun. Can't wait to go back. I think the 6.5 PRCs was perfect for it as far as just being able to spot your impacts. They did everything we asked them to do, even in the those high wind days. That was another thing I'll touch on real quick. The wind was it wasn't horrible as it was. Everybody kept reporting from the year before. It was tough. I mean, you'd be on top of a ridge, and all your targets are down below you, except for just a very, very few. And your streamer on your tripod will be blowing at the target, and then you're still holding 1 mil left or 1 mil right. Mm-hmm. So the wind down, halfway between you and the target is doing a total different thing than what you're witnessing up top. So being able to read mirage on your, because it plays tricks on your mind, because you're sitting there looking at it, you're like, I know this wind's hitting me in the face, so there's no way I'm gonna have to hold anything. Very little, 1/10, 2/10 or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Just for spin drift, I'm about to catch it, but it's not. It was total different. So,
or you get like me and Chris with pretty much no wind at a station. We're ready. Are you ready? Okay, start.
And then
quit. Or no, that's when they told us to. Remember, they said quit. And that guy they had to go down there and do a target.
Yeah, fix a target. Yeah.
Yeah.
20 minutes, 30 minutes later, we got a howling wind. We're like, so everything changed.
Yep.
Everything changed.
Yeah, it was, every stage was different. I mean, it didn't matter if you were just changing, you're going from 12 o'clock to the next stage, you were shooting at 1 o'clock. Everything would change. So it was pretty neat, man. It was fun. I can't wait to go back.
Me too.
Yeah.
So.
And I think the round count for the entire event was like 160.
160.
If you
Yeah.
shot every, if
If you shot every round.
Yeah, shot every round, 160. Basically meaning you missed almost every plate and didn't hit
that's correct.
Yeah.
a single one almost.
Yeah.
Um,
I still had 2.5 boxes left over. I was able to give Adam back. But again,
Very impressed how well, Tad and then put that event on. It ran smooth.
Yep.
I mean, it was quick. It was they did a really good job.
yeah, they've been doing it for 10 years. I mean, it was this was the 10th year anniversary of it. And it was, I mean, they said it was going to be over by 2:00 on Sunday, and it was over at 2:00 on Sunday. They said it was gonna be,
it was a push to do that first day, 13 sections, but I think they changed that so it can be faster on Sunday, which Sunday felt like nothing.
I know, it felt like it was, we just got there and went home.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, we
And
shot 7 stations. Yeah, 7 stations on Sunday.
yeah, we shot 13 on Saturday and 7 on Sunday. Yep. But it was good. Guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer anything we can on it. We have some more challenges coming up, going to, where am I going?
You're going to
Alaska. NRL Hunter, and that'll be my first one, going there next week. And the week after that, going to South Dakota for another ELR Pro-Am. I'm going to go shoot with Clay from Long Shot. So I'm pumped up about that. And then we have mile class coming up in October. If y'all want to come shoot with us, come shoot a mile. We'll go over some of that wind reading and just have a good time shooting at the Whittington Center. And other than that, I think that's all we got going right now, huh?
Yeah, and we'll probably coming closer to the next Nightforce event. We'll do another sit down, talk about it, and probably do have like, what you need to have and what you should expect.
What we used. Yeah.
What we used and what to expect on this challenge. But it's definitely worth signing up. And if you're going to sign up for it, you better do it in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, it's just going to go.
It sells out quick.
Yeah.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yep.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Unless you guys had anything.
I'm good.
Yeah. Well, guys, thanks for tuning in, and keep a lookout. We'll have some more podcasts coming up. Sorry, it's been a month or so since we've done one. We've been real busy, but we'll try to keep it more consistent. Anyway, thanks again. Have a good one.